Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, Jill, Wesker. What happened to Jill and Wesker? Remember the magic word, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society remembers the magic word with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. Mark, how's it going?
It's going great. We are now deep in the throes of this horrifying Resident Evil month.
I would say that we've found 2 mansion keys. That's about how deep we are into this Resident Evil month.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still only have like the handgun, right? We've seen a shotgun, but we can't take it off the wall yet.
But luckily, we have found another survivor. We have a very special guest with us.
Yes, we've got writer, comedian, and co-host of the Baywatch Watch podcast, Charlie Mihelich is here.
Hey guys, thank you so much for saving me. I am excited to be saved by you.
Yes, we're saving you from a pack of not rabid, they're zombie dogs.
They're zombie dogs.
How do you approach dogs in a Resident Evil game? Like, do you run away? What is your normal tactic when you encounter an infected dog in these games?
Shoot them all.
Shoot them.
Yeah. I will say that my first playthrough of RE2 Remake, I did play on assisted mode, which gave me a lot more ammo.
Yes.
So a lot of times I just walked in and several of them were already trapped in the kennel. And so I just took them.
Put them down?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I'm not waiting for you to get out. I know what's going on.
I back in the day when I was a young Resident Evil obsessive, one of the things that that my brother and I would do is like really strategize shooting the dog so it would like fall down and then run up to it, switch to the knife, and finish it off with the knife, which is an effective way to conserve ammunition, but a horrifying thing to consider.
Yes.
That your character is doing.
Yeah. Luckily, video games are not real life.
Because if it was real life, that's also like almost a guaranteed way to ensure you get infected.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
That dog is latching onto you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's bound to be splatter from the blood.
Splatter. Because when I'm stabbing a dog, I open my mouth.
For sure.
Always.
Well, I mean, a primal scream.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Primal scream. So the blood's going in my mouth.
Right, and it's just like you want to show that you're enjoying it, right?
Yes.
All right, we are going to get around to ranking the protagonists from the Resident Evil series, but first just want to shout out the Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the Movies.
Yes, where Patrick, myself, and usually a special guest are going to the movies, seeing a movie together, and then talking about it in the spirit of Resident Evil month, kind of, I guess. We're talking about Scream. Scream 7 at the end of February. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm making my way through the Scream movies and having a lot of fun. So, yeah, I think that'll be great.
I also just like that as you are doing that, Mark, we are like sort of off mic catching up about the Scream movies.
Yeah.
Which is just like, I don't know, I'm primed and excited to talk Scream.
Yeah, my husband doesn't get it because he hasn't been watching the Scream movies with me, and he feels like I'm just constantly watching a Scream movie, which I am.
Right.
I've just been constantly watching them.
Did you invite him to join you, or is he just not interested?
I did not actually. Now that you bring it up, I wasn't like I'm watching.
Okay, I'm on his side then.
Yeah, I wasn't like I'm starting the Scream movies. Do you want to watch all of them with me? I just started watching them, so it feels like hard to jump in at 5.
Nah, you could do it, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, maybe I'll invite him.
Invite him for 5.
I did invite him for 7, and he was a hard no.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Or not great, but fine. There are other miniseries that you can check out on the Patreon. Some are available at the 4-bit level and some at the free level. So no matter what you are interested in spending, you can listen to extra stuff from us by going to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society. Also, if you would like to be in our Discord, email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society @gmail.com, and we will send you an invitation. You hop in there, chat with us about Nintendo stuff, or tell us where we get our rankings here totally out of whack, because it's bound to happen. But all right, let's do it. Let's rank the protagonists from Resident Evil. Okay, first things first. I think we need to define some terms.
Oh, wait, sorry. Before we even get into that,
Yes.
Charlie, I'd love to know your history with
Great.
Resident Evil and
Sure.
like when you got into the series and all that kind of stuff.
So Patrick knows a little bit about this because he and I were on the Resident Evil 4 Remake Games Club of Super NPC Radio's Games Club earlier this year. That was actually
Last year.
Last year, 2025. Wow, here we are. That was the first time that I'd actually played a Resident Evil game from start to finish. I have an awareness of, because I'm a big video game fan. I've watched a ton of videos about it, but when I was a kid, I was always so scared of the series.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So scared of the series. So I watched a lot of videos of it to avoid having to play it. I also, when I was a kid, played the demos of the games and could not get past the concept that I wasn't supposed to kill everything. And
Right.
so I couldn't get anywhere because I would run out of ammo after like 2 seconds and then die. And I was like, this game is too hard. I'll never get anywhere. And so I just never picked it up again. And so, but throughout the course of that games club, I decided to play RE2 Remake. So I played through that, both the I think I started with the Leon A campaign and then the Claire B campaign, and then I also played the RE3 remake, and then I also played RE6.
This was so exciting to see
Yeah.
in real time too, because the way the Games Club works is that like you do a couple chapters every week, and we were
Yeah.
recording it all like in real time, so there was no like banking episodes or anything like that, which meant that it took way longer than it would normally take a person to play Resident Evil 4 to play Resident Evil 4, and it seems like, Charlie, you just like got the bug that you were
Yes.
like, I need more Resident Evil.
I need more Resident Evil. Also, there was a part where we got probably like 7 or 8 weeks in, and I accidentally deleted my save for RE4 Remake, and so I had to play through most of the game again and catch up to where we were. So I felt like I played RE4 Remake several times. I also upped the difficulty at one point because I was playing on assisted mode, and then realized that I wasn't kind of getting the intended experience, especially when we got to separate ways. There is no assisted mode for that. You have to play Ada's DLC on that, and the difficulty spike was kind of crazy for me. So I was like, oh, okay, like the game was, because everyone was talking about like the water temple and how hard it was and stuff, and I was like, that was pretty easy. But yeah, and then so I did that again. But yeah, I think once I finally got it, especially with like RE2 Remake, having so much fun with the puzzles, and then RE3 Remake, the joy I got from the going back into the Raccoon City Police Department,
Yeah.
and seeing how the police department got the way it was in RE2 Remake,
Yes.
with like who set the explosives that blew up the wall,
Yeah.
who put up, who did this, who did it, like it was so like such joy of discovery. And the hospital in RE3 Remake, I just remember being like such a scary experience. Just a really fun. So that's my experience.
Yeah. I think that is one thing that Resident Evil does as a series does such a good job of historically, is like being able to you see things happen in 2 that aren't explained until like how it happened until 3, or like all the events of RE0. And I wonder how much, because it doesn't feel like they're like planning that far ahead or anything like that. So I just wonder how it's really impressive what they're able to pull off in some of those situations.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that like continuity is one of the things that is like both a boon and a hindrance to Resident Evil as a series. Like, and a lot of this comes down to the characters and like the playable characters that you're like, you can track these sort of like journeys that these guys are on. Like I got 10 times more excited about Resident Evil Requiem when they were like, yeah, Leon's in it. I'm like, my boy
totally.
Leon. And now I'm like, do I have to buy both of these amiibo? I don't know. But like that can be such a powerful thing of that continuity from like the characters to the locations. You know Raccoon City, you know the police station, you know the Spencer Mansion, the Trevor Mansion. There are two of them, right? Spencer is the well, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it can also be like a real downfall of the series where you're like, yeah, not like Wesker has superpowers and is like flying around.
It's true. Yeah. Yes. And the way that they've been able to calibrate that over time, or sometimes it just gets totally like out of control,
and
is really interesting.
Apparently,
you're right,
because 6 was like, after playing those other ones, I was like, what happened? It was such a strange experience because I just never for a second felt scared or tense or anything when I'm playing that game. And I felt like I was playing a totally different game. I felt like like a different series.
Totally.
It felt like I was playing like an action movie, which is fine. I love action movies. They're like my favorite thing in the entire world. But when you are playing a Resident Evil game, especially after,
you want to play a Resident Evil game,
like Resident Evil 2 remake, because I haven't played the original one, but it almost feels like a Metroidvania in the sense that it's like,
yes,
you are every time you find something, you are like, oh my god, the things I can open with this, like the places I can go, that door, that now I found the thing that will let me go back and get that, and like having this in my inventory changes the game, and I know that that all this, and I just never felt any of that with 6, and then it sounds like with 7 they really realized like, let's go back to our roots.
Yeah, I mean, totally. That like the Resident Evil does take this, and it starts with 4, right?
Yeah.
And like, but 4 is like kind of the perfect balance.
Balanced.
It can feel like a sort of cheesy action movie while also still being like pretty scary, and that like 5 kind of strikes that balance too.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played 5. That's one that I would like to
I just realized, sorry, I made the list of protagonists, and I did not put, what's her name, Shiva?
Oh, yeah.
Let me, okay, hold on. I'll write up a Post-it note. Keep going, Mark.
Okay. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've played 5. That's one that I would like to revisit because, like, from the journey from 4, 5, and 6 was all just, like, pushing more towards action, more towards action. That's where I feel like 2 remake really is. I think 2 remake is the perfect balance of those sorts of things. I haven't played 4 remake, but I think of 4 as less like getting those items that unlock like the Metroidvania aspect of it.
Sure.
I don't think of 4 really that way. I think of 4 as much more like guided.
Yeah.
Agreed. And so that's why I think like 2 remake was so fun, because it has the like action, like combat stuff of 4, but still has those like puzzly elements that were such a like core part of the series in its early days.
In 4, I felt like the enemies were the puzzles because the action is so good in the game, and the guns feel so weighty and punchy, whereas you like are like shooting one in the leg so that it goes down on its knee so that you can shoot this other one, then you roundhouse kick this one, and you're like slowing this one, and you are really like, and it felt so good to deal with a crowd of enemies. Whereas, again, playing 6, it's like I had this pistol that when I was shooting, it felt like I was shooting a BB gun. Like they don't react, they don't feel anything, like, and it felt like you just had to unload into these guys in order for them to go down. And it was really just about like, shoot this one 8 times, shoot this one 8 times, shoot this one 8 times, and then 10 more are going to run into the room. And whereas like it always felt like you were put into an arena where in 4, it felt like there were overwhelming odds, but you were like, this one's got dynamite in his hand, shoot the dynamite, and then go
Charlie,
and get
that's
these other
so
ones.
smart to think that the combat in 4 and in 4 remake is like the puzzle of the game, or is sort of like the navigational thing that you have to work out like you would in the previous Resident Evil games, and I think that's so part of why that's so well observed is that that's where like the mercenaries mode is really introduced. There's like a sort of mercenaries thing with the original 3,
Right.
but like they turn into this like arena mode in 4, and that maintains the feeling of Resident Evil because the combat is so sort of like puzzly and like you have to figure out how to deal with everyone. It's not just about like having the best reactions or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. I never thought about 4 that way, but that's totally correct. And absolutely where, like 6 drops the ball. Okay, should we talk about what we think we mean when we say a Resident Evil protagonist?
Yes. Yeah.
So I made a list of at first 14 and now 15 characters, and I don't necessarily know that all of these do need to count as protagonists, but what I was taking was all of the playable characters from like the mainline Resident Evil series, and I'm including Code Veronica and
Revelations too.
and Revelations in there. But only if they're playable in a non-combat arena scenario, right? So like I don't have Wesker in here. I don't have Krauser from 4. Those are characters that you could play in the mercenaries mode, but like I don't really consider, that's not the same thing. But it does mean that there are a handful of characters that are playable at certain points of the game or in like different modes that I don't know necessarily that we would count as protagonists, but they are on the list for right now. So we can make the call as we go to eliminate them.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It looked like you had a question.
Well, I feel like we're missing a few. Let's run down what we have, and then let's talk about ones that maybe we're missing and need to be added.
Okay. So first up, we've just got the pair of Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. That seems evidentially true.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Claire Redfield and Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil 2. Again, seems sort of inarguable. Those two would be included. And then Ada Wong and Sherry Birkin, who are both playable for a period in Resident Evil 2. Ada comes back in future games, as does Sherry, right? Sherry's in 6?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I put Hunk in here. Hunk, the 4th survivor from Resident Evil 2. Has his own little scenario there and then comes back in future games. Then I've got Rebecca Chambers from Resident Evil 0, also briefly playable in Resident Evil 1. And then Billy Cohen, who is like her side character in Resident Evil 0. Then I've got Steve Burnside, who is, again, for a short time playable in Resident Evil Code Veronica, assisting Claire. And then Shiva Alamar from Resident Evil 5. Who is Chris's like sort of partner in that game. And then the characters from the Revelations game, Moira Burton, Barry Burton, and Natalia Corda. And then Ethan Winters from 7 and 8.
And I'm not seeing Ashley.
Not seeing Ashley, right.
So Ashley is playable.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
And then what about, and I'm sorry, I'm probably going to get this wrong.
What's Ashley's last name? Do we know this off the top of our head? President daughter?
Yeah, President daughter Ashley.
I'm calling her Ashley President daughter.
Her name is Graham.
Of course, daughter of President Graham.
And then what about Carlos from RE3?
Yeah, Carlos is a great call.
And then, so Charlie, this is where I'm glad you've played 6, because aren't there a bunch of protagonists in 6 that team up with like?
So Chris has a co-op partner. Let me find his name.
And he has like a heart of gold.
Yeah.
He does. Okay. Yeah, Jake. Okay, so there's
no, it's Piers Nivens.
Okay.
Piers Nivens?
Piers Nivens.
Okay.
And then there's and Jake is extremely important. Jake is the one who's teamed up with is he teamed up with Sherry and because Sherry's like an agent now.
I think that's right. Because
Yeah.
he's Wesker's son.
He's Wesker's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't he the one that does in the game? He
has the
is like
arm.
he's like melee combat,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Which is so different from.
Yeah.
Oh my
any,
gosh. Okay. Yeah, we're entering into territory I don't really know.
And then there's Helena Harper, who is paired up with.
Jake Muller is the son of Albert Wesker.
Okay. Yes, and he's paired with Sherry.
Sherry.
And then Leon is paired with Helena.
And then Ada is paired with Ada has a campaign as well.
Does she also show up with hang out with Leon?
She oh shit, I think maybe hers is solo.
But Helena hangs out with, or is teamed up with Leon, and she invented one of the viruses or something.
Yeah, if you do co-op for Ada, it's a generic silent agent as the second player, so she doesn't have another.
Oh, okay. They were just and we need another person.
Let's include silent agent.
I guess you could include Tofu.
Oh yeah.
I did not. I debated including tofu.
I mean, that would almost be unfair. Number one, easily. So, okay. So I think that expands our list a little bit.
I have added Helena Harper, Ashley Graham, Jake Mahler, Piers Nivens, and Carlos Oliveira.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are now not on our list, but that's okay. We will work from the post-it notes.
Yes, post-it notes will be the source of truth. This is, I believe, we're going to call this a definitive ranking. So this is definitive.
Yes.
Which means, Charlie, that even when we disagree, we have to come up with a list, one definitive list.
One definitive list.
Right. And we have to. There has to be consensus on it.
Yep.
And when it's over, we have to agree to remain friends.
Yes. No matter how contentious it gets.
Okay.
Charlie.
Yes.
No matter how contentious.
No matter how contentious.
That's right.
I do want to start by saying Leon S. Kennedy, #1.
I don't know that I disagree with that, but I think I disagree with it.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I love Leon, and as discussed,
Yeah.
it's why I'm more interested in in 9. But I think of the original 4. He may be my 4.
Oh, interesting.
I like him, but I like even
that's interesting.
in 2 I like Claire better.
I think I have a different #1 as well, but that's not Claire. So
Very good.
So I guess we'll see.
I do want to say that I think in RE2, I think Claire's story is more interesting because of the fact that she meets Sherry, and Sherry obviously is very intricately connected, where Leon's just like a guy. It's
He's
his
just
first day.
Yeah, first day on the job.
But I think him being me starting with 4 and then going back to 2, and then him. So I've played 3 games with him in it.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Which makes sense. It makes sense that he's your #1.
And don't get me wrong, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Leon is great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we will have strong arguments for. I think the top 4 or 5
I
is
did
going to be
like
really
Jill,
competitive.
too. Jill in 3.
Jill rules. And I think the top of the list is hard.
Yeah, I think it's going to be competitive.
Which is why I think we should start at the bottom.
Okay.
And just to start off here, a lot of these characters I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 6. And Charlie, this is where your expertise will be greatly appreciated. But I would almost vote for a tie for last place.
Yeah.
With the Resident Evil 6 companions.
Yeah, I would say Piers Nivens probably is the most forgettable, and then I would probably put Jake above that, just because Jake has kind of the it's the petulant anime angst attitude, because he is he's the chosen one who can save everyone and doesn't want any part of it.
and fights with a big blade arm, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In what way is he not Cloud Strife?
The only way is he didn't steal anyone's identity.
Okay. All right. What if he did though?
Oh,
What if he
yeah, I
did steal
guess.
someone's identity?
Well, and then I already forgot her name. Natalia is that somebody else?
So Natalia is the Resident Evil Revelations, the little girl.
Okay, so what's the name of the
Helena?
Oh, Helena.
Right.
Helena, I think like she creates like the C virus or whatever it is.
Oh, yes.
And so like that's bad. I know she's trying to make amends, but like that's not particularly great. The thing I'll say about Piers is
I
that
didn't realize there was going to be a moral component.
hey, I mean all
Yeah.
things are on the table.
You're right.
I mean when you're comparing kind of like forgettable
Absolutely, right.
protagonists, you have to but like Piers is really nice to Chris. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of like his like deal, like because Chris is like super depressed in 6,
He's
right?
very depressed.
And like Piers is like, the buddy. He sacrifices himself at the end to
Sure.
like for Chris.
I think I had a lot of frustration playing through the Chris Piers campaign, not necessarily directed at Piers, but because it was like playing like Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, this needs to end. Like there is an
Right.
interminable bridge sequence in which you were fighting through buildings and bridges, through these giant like behemoth monsters that are hitting buildings, and I just wanted that campaign to be over so badly that might have colored my yeah.
I feel like Chris's campaign in 6 is widely regarded as like the nadir of the series.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the low point, the lowest that Resident Evil will hopefully ever scrape.
Yeah.
And that is largely because it has like gone full on mindless action, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to hold Piers Nivens personally responsible for.
No.
No, you don't want to hold Piers responsible.
What I'm saying is that we should give him a little bit of grace because he seems like he's forgettable, but seems like a good guy just in a terrible campaign.
You want to
Gotcha.
hold Helena
I
responsible
wanna
for
hold
creating the
Helena.
C virus.
I can't remember if it's the C virus, G virus. There's so many viruses
I
now
know.
in Resident Evil.
TGC.
And then Jake, right? That's
Yeah.
so
Right,
we're
so-
saying that this is probably these
So
three are
that
somewhere at the bottom
trio,
of the
that
list.
trio is at the bottom. Okay, so do you want to put Helena at the bottom mark? Is that what you're sort of pitching? Here? Like
yeah.
Piers at the top, Jake, and this is of course of the absolute bottom. Helena bottom, then Jake, then Piers.
That's my argument right now. Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Charlie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and then obviously as we go, nothing is locked in stone until we lock it in stone.
That's right.
So if anyone that we're talking about, we're like, hey, you know what? I actually think that Ada is less good than these guys. We can always rearrange. But Ada, I mean, I love Ada, so that likely won't happen. Okay, so who else is towards the bottom here? I do want to say Natalia Corda, who is Barry's support character from Resident Evil Revelations 2, and is like weird Russian little girl with superpowers.
Yes. What I will say about Natalia, and something that I think is interesting about that game, is that instead of having like Natalia is a little girl and she doesn't like she's not wielding a gun, she's not helping you
Yes.
in like combat or anything. She just uses her spooky powers to
She's
identify
like
where.
Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite.
Yes.
Yes, a
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. And so, and I think that's kind of neat. Like, I personally would put Ashley Graham like below Natalia.
Interesting.
Ashley, I think it is interesting because I was thinking of Ashley down there too, but from the gameplay footage that I watched of RE4, the original, I would absolutely agree. But RE4 remake kind of redeems her a bit.
Okay, that's interesting. I haven't played remake.
She's
Yeah,
way
she's
less
way
annoying.
better.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
And the relationship between her and Leon is way better.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
She's older, first of all. They aged her up, and
Right.
she's not like a whiny, snivelly. She's like got agency.
Right. And there are just like fewer awkward
awkward.
he wants to have sex
yeah,
with her
there's
jokes.
no
Yeah.
and no more. There's no more upskirts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They go a long way to apologize
Yeah. Okay, got it.
for their previous
That's cool.
actions.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Okay, all right.
But yes, I would say in the original, she would be way down there.
I would also maybe with Natalia we put Moira perhaps just because Revelations 2 is not a game that I'm super familiar with, and so I just don't have a lot of love for either of those characters.
no.
Right. Well, and so Moira is Barry's daughter.
Yeah.
And has like a sort of classic like early 2000s goth girl look. And she also doesn't like have a gun. And in fact, there's a point in the scenario with Claire where she's like, Claire's like, you need a gun. And she's like, no, I don't do that. So she's got a flashlight and like a crowbar, but doesn't use the crowbar for violence. Uses it for crowing things or barring things or whatever. Prying, I suppose. So like, yeah, in that way, she and Natalia are similar, but she doesn't have like magic powers. So yeah, I don't know.
It's all tentative at this point.
It's all tentative at this point, but I would agree that these two are probably next. So let's just put them up there. Do we have a preference for one over the other?
I would say Powers is better than no power, so I would say
Yeah.
Crowbar goes below Powers.
I'm always going to be a little bit reticent to include a child as high in the list. Although, I mean, Sherry Birkin we've not placed yet.
Sherry, though, also appears as an adult protagonist.
Sure, in 6.
In 6.
Right. Okay. Well then, I don't know.
We'll see. We have
Yeah.
a lot of characters.
We
to
do
work
have a lot
through
of
still,
characters,
so yeah. So I say let's put them there for now, above Piers, and then.
But how
We'll
would
continue
you
to work
order
through
them? Like Natalia above Moira just because she has powers? Powers beats no powers?
Well, let's come back to it.
Okay.
Because we can get into the nitty gritty, but I just feel like we have so much to work
Sure,
through.
you want to sketch
before
out.
we.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So glancing here at the board, who else kind of registers as this like lower level? Because we've got a lot of like Stone Cold classics here in the mix. But this is where we're bumping up against Ethan Winters, possibly.
Sure. Yeah. Let's talk about Ethan because I haven't played 7 or 8.
I heard he's a little whiny guy.
He's a little whiny guy. His hands endure a lot of trauma. He's our first person protagonist with like his face is always like in shadow. Like they go out of their way to make him a non-characterized.
You are
Ethan Winters. So I guess this kind of comes down to like, how do you feel about yourself?
Well, I was Time Person of the Year in like 2004
I
or
remember
whatever.
that.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Yeah, let's put this at the very bottom.
All of which is to say, I think I could put Ethan Winters next above Natalia, and maybe there's someone that we can slot lower.
Sure, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And then others that we think probably go.
So I wanted to talk about Carlos for a second.
Yes.
Just because I haven't played 3 Remake, but my understanding is that in 3 Remake he's pretty cool.
I loved him.
Because
he's rad.
I think in original RE3 he's not much of an entity at all.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of have to take the like implied story of what's happening in the original 3, but in 3 Remake it is a little bit more explicit that like he's going against the orders of like, because he's working for Umbrella, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just a job, but he like teams up with you explicitly against the guys that are like trying to command him and like are still alive and like actively hunting Jill down. So I like Carlos quite a bit.
Okay,
and
cool.
he also is like he takes on kind of the same role as Ada does when Leon gets hurt in in 2.
Got it.
And where Jill gets hurt. And so then Carlos goes and does stuff, but also gets medicine to make her better. So that's his side diversion.
I see.
And that's the hospital sequence, which is
She gets hurt in the hospital sequence. He's the police station sequence.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So who are you controlling during? Because there's like a siege on the hospital.
The siege on the hospital is, I believe, both of them.
Is both of them, yeah. Which is a cool moment,
Yeah, very
right?
cool, yeah.
They make such a cool team in a way that like I don't really think they let Jill be like teamed up in totally meaningful ways.
It's true.
When she's with Barry in the first one, I don't know, that relationship feels weird to me.
Well, I feel like one of her things in the series in general is that she is kind of like a lone wolf, right? Like she's so driven.
Yes.
No matter what happens to her, she's just kind of like an unstoppable force for like, no, justice, like she's, and so, yeah, you're right. She doesn't really get paired up that meaningfully very much. What about Steve Burnside? I feel like this might be a
good time to introduce Steve into the conversation.
Who is Steve Burnside?
Steve Burnside is the like companion character in Resident Evil Code Veronica. Okay. He is so Claire meets up with him. He's like on the island where zombie stuff is happening, and Steve is an exceptionally whiny character. Like he's like that's actually what his line reads sound like. And I like hopefully if they are remaking Code Veronica, they will address this and make him a little bit more palatable. But he in the original release in like 2000 when the game came out. He is styled so much like mid 90s Leo, that like they had to change his hair in the Code Veronica X release because he looked too much like Romeo and Juliet.
Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes,
he's young, right? He's a younger character.
Also looks like Leo.
Yeah. and his name is Leon. That's true, but this is even more. It's like just think of like the
Hawaiian
the poster.
Well, and his like main character trait is being whiny and pining for Claire.
Okay.
Like that's like
well, and also like he was like left by his parents and is like has these trust issues that he won't shut up about and is like the only thing you can count on is a weapon, like that kind of,
which is kind of, I mean, not to jump ahead, but is like a role that Claire finds herself in so much, that like kind of like big sister role. I mean,
right.
Like obviously he has a crush on her, like babysitter, like big sister, like with Sherry, and
sure.
then with I mean, I guess kind of with Moira, in
totally.
Revelations 2. That's kind of like
that's the spot that
they
Claire
put her
fits
in
into.
a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's Steve also does, I guess, spoilers for Steve's story. He gets transformed into like a monster.
Okay.
And like that's a fun moment where you're running away from Monster Steve. And like sometimes you're like, I don't really see how the viruses affect these guys in this way. This is the one where it is most like we've never seen it turn anyone into a giant lizard man before, but like it does to Steve. So like that way he feels a little bit special to me.
Yeah.
But I understand that he's annoying, and in no world should he be much higher than this.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I mean, I don't know. Part of the fun of this series is I have affection for so many of these characters, even when they are like doofy, like Steve is.
Totally.
They're part of your nostalgia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there is a ceiling to how high they can go, and he's also super dead. So like
he is possibly dead.
You're right. There's so many of these characters where you're like any of this could change at a moment.
Right.
You're right.
No one is dead forever in these games. But I will agree that Steve Burnside probably just above Ethan Winters here. Unfortunately, I think this is where we need to start talking about Billy Cohen.
Okay, fair. From Zero, Resident Evil Zero.
Okay. Yes.
He's like one of the protagonists, and he's like
he's an escaped convict,
who,
former Marine or something.
Yeah, who's like falsely accused of murder, but is on like death row. Like, wasn't he like on his way to being executed or something? Yeah.
That's where the game starts in the train, and then like moves on to the Trevor Mansion.
And this is also like Rebecca's big showcase as well.
Yes,
she's like the other character, and Billy Cohen is interesting. I mean, maybe this reflects more on Rebecca. But Billy Cohen is interesting because he's only appeared in this game. He is not, but his like arc, such as it is kind of, is like learning to trust and like ultimately it's like Rebecca realizing
she is a cop,
yeah,
right? So like he's right to not trust her, but also they're in a zombie situation, and it's leech zombies in that game, which is horrifying. But yeah, sorry. Say what you were saying about it really reflects more on her arc.
Well, just because ultimately, like the way it ends is like obviously they're in this life and death situation together. They learn to trust each other,
Right.
and Rebecca basically just like is like, yeah, like I'm just gonna tell the world that you're dead.
Right.
And then, so Billy's like presumably out there somewhere,
but we've just never seen him.
We've just never
since.
seen him again. But that's kind of like, I think their story together is maybe more interesting than like Billy's story on its own.
Yeah, definitely true. Well, and that like she then goes on to have her story with Chris, because she's Chris's sort of partner character in Resident Evil 1. So she is, at the beginning of Resident Evil, they are, it's Alpha Team, and they're going in to investigate what happened to Bravo Team, who went into the mansion first. And only in a game like Resident Evil would Bravo Team have gone in before Alpha Team. But whatever. So Rebecca is part of Bravo Team and like one of the sole survivors of the team that went in there first.
Okay.
And she's their medic. And so, like, Chris teams up with her, and Chris, God love him, is the dumbest box of rocks on the board here. And so, like, there will be points in the game where, have you ever played one?
No.
Any version of one? There are points in the game where, when you're playing as Jill and you encounter like medicine or like chemicals or anything technical, that Jill can just do it. There's a puzzle where you have to play the Moonlight Sonata on a piano, and Jill just does it. But Chris, every single time, like when you have Chris try to play the piano, he like, it's like blump, 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 and then the text on the screen says Chris doesn't know how to play piano. But then when you're encountering like the chemicals for like the puzzle to poison Plant 42's roots, it just says Chris doesn't know anything about science. So like,
but Jill can do it. Jill can do it. No problem. She can do it.
So the thing with all these moments in Chris's story is you have to go back and get Rebecca, and she'll do the science.
Gosh.
She'll play the piano.
Yeah, she's smart enough to just hole up in a room.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And for a period in one becomes a place that you just go back to and get healed.
Yeah.
Which is not something that's common in those early Resident Evil games. We just played RE Remake, and I played the Chris scenario, and like every time you encounter Rebecca, it's like, yes, thank God.
Okay.
I can progress and like get a little bit further. So yeah, all of which is to say that like unequivocally, I put Rebecca above
for sure,
Billy.
100%.
But I think Billy's probably due up next.
Okay. And this is where I'm really looking, because I keep looking at Ashley, and
right.
so I am totally deferring to you guys as to where the right placement for Ashley is.
What's interesting is like I think there are a couple of these characters, or Sherry, a couple of these characters that sort of like land in a similar space just in my mind of like primarily being the support characters to another character, and that's Billy, Carlos, Shiva. Although she's not primarily a support character, you could just play as Shiva, right? But so yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I was just gonna say, as far as like the plot goes, though, she is She is absolutely a support character.
She's
like
just
she
the
doesn't
co-op
have
partner,
any like arc of her own.
Yeah,
really.
that's true.
She's just there to assist Chris. Like even in plot, right? She's just there to be there to like do whatever.
And if you don't have a second player, she is poorly controlled, right?
It's all AI.
So it's you're never on your own.
Yeah,
Right.
And
Right.
I would love for her to come back and have more of like a story of her own instead of just being like Chris's support character.
Right.
But as it is, she doesn't have very much going on other than she's like
Assists Chris.
yeah.
Assistant for Christopher. So she goes in like the same sort of bucket as Billy and Carlos, and then possibly Ashley or Sherry. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like I sort of think that all five of those are in like one. They're in like the next tier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Billy, Carlos, Shiva, Ashley, and Sherry.
I think that's right, because then that leaves us with and Hunk is a mystery that we will deal with, but that leaves us with Hunk, Chris, Jill. Leon, Ada, Claire, and Barry. Which
and Rebecca.
And Rebecca, yeah,
right.
which feels right to me. So I would almost put Hunk in this group, just because he is like a singular entity. He's not a support character in any way, but as far as like impact to the series, I would put him in this group.
Yeah, I mean, Hunk. For me, Hunk occupied such a huge chunk of my imagination when I was young and playing Resident Evil 2 for the first time.
He's like a fan. It's like a fan
He's
fiction.
a fan.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah. And that, like, because to access his scenario in the original release of Resident Evil 2, you had to beat the game in under 2 hours. The B scenario for one of the characters in under 2 hours, I think, without saving or using first aid sprays. Or dying, obviously, because you can't save. And that is something that, like, I committed my young life to, figuring out how to actually execute on that. And then getting his scenario, which is just this, like, tough as nails combat encounter through the tank controls of the original Resident Evil 2, is just so cool and looms so large in my head. So, forgive me, but my heart is going to pull Hunk higher probably than he deserves.
No, that's fair. I would almost put Barry Burton in the same kind of group, maybe the top of this sort of group.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or I guess we could leave him here and he'd be the bottom of like our top tier group.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Barry. Barry is the ultimate. He's like Dad Joke the character.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that you almost became a Jill sandwich is kind of the iconic. Yeah.
And can you believe that they wrote that out of the remake? It's unbelievable.
That's a crazy thing to do. It's like, especially because there are times when like bad voice acting can ruin a game, and then there are times when bad voice acting makes the game. Yes.
I think if remake had been done like 5 or 6 years later or something, 100%. They would have
2001, sure.
And they were, trying to like, make it a real serious endeavor, and the series went so cuckoo bananas that like, if they had made it just a few years later, I think
because now it's like an achievement. It's
right.
Like,
totally.
Yes, exactly.
And it is an achievement in the remake.
Yeah. Oh.
But as we were,
sorry, just one more note.
Yeah.
But it's only an achievement in like the PS.
Yes, great point. You're right.
Releases,
the HD version of it. Right. So in the early go of Resident Evil Revelations, Claire and Moira are running around, and there is a like falling ceiling puzzle. And Moira, who is Barry's daughter, like gets out of it, and Claire says, "You were almost a Moira sandwich," and she goes, "Does he have to tell everyone that story?" So like, it's canon.
Yeah.
It's canon.
Yeah.
But yeah, cowards, absolute cowards.
Did meme humor exist at the point that remake was made? Like, I don't think, like, I just don't. Yeah. I think it was not around for long enough to be canonized.
Right.
So I think that's why they took it out of remake.
Master of Unlocking.
Yeah. That's all, and those are all Barry-isms. So like that's Barry also looks like accepting the red hair.
Yeah.
Looks exactly like my dad.
That's so interesting because I think in remake he looks like one of my cousins. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
To a distracting degree.
That's funny. So I don't know. I love Barry. Partially because I think it's playing tricks on me, but still I love the guy.
What do we do with this middle?
I don't know.
Crush?
For me, I would put Carlos at the top of that list. For me,
Carlos is a pretty solid top.
But Hunk, I think you probably would put higher.
I'm setting Hunk aside for a moment.
And then oh boy, we'll talk about Ashley and Sherry in a second because we haven't really talked about Sherry at all. But Billy probably the bottom of this list, right? And then Shiva right above, or Shiva below.
I think above is right. I think Billy suffers from just not really. I mean, in a lot of ways, they're very similar.
They are really similar.
They don't have a lot going on for themselves, like character-wise.
And probably both of them below Ashley and Sherry, right? I mean, to whatever. I know, Mark, you're inhaling to say something about Ashley.
No, not about Ashley. About Sherry, because she's like playable in 2 remake.
Yeah, well, and two
Briefly.
original.
In like
yeah.
what
It's
is her,
she. So you are in
like
the
the
police
orphanage.
chief's,
Oh right,
and the police chief is stalking you,
Right.
and you are hiding from him, and it's it's probably the most tense because you're completely defenseless
Right.
and you are hiding from him. So it's not a very long playable sequence, but it is
memorable.
It is memorable.
Yeah, and then
And she has 2 sequences in the original. And the first one, it's really just like, Claire boosts her up into like a vent or something, and then she accesses another area to like get a key. And again, completely defenseless.
Yeah.
But you just have to like run around and like hope the dogs don't get you. And there's this little like feature of the way that she moves where like she has to climb up boxes. And because she's little, she's got this whole thing of like throwing her leg up to like kind of like get up there. And there's like a random element of like 1 in every 4 times that she's climbing, she'll like kind of drop her leg and like have to like.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a slower climb animation, kind of randomly. And I know that's like the bane of speedrunners, where it's like, she's got to climb 5 times. Are you going to luck out and not get
funny.
A leg drop? But that can also like put her in danger of like something coming after her. Is she actually going to clear it? And it's just a cool little like gameplay thing. It doesn't make me like her more necessarily, but.
And then what about in 6? Is she like memorable in any way?
Her campaign with Jake is, she's a run and gun,
Yeah.
She is now a CIA agent.
That feels so boring.
I'm reaching for like things that were super memorable to me about the campaign.
So it sounds like, generally speaking, we liked Ashley in RE4 Remake more.
I thought Ashley's sequence in which you are actually playing as her because there's a sequence where Leon is trapped in the castle and the knights are coming to life and they're chasing after you.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you have
that's
to turn
fun.
around and flash them, and then that stops them. And like you have to then it's like very much almost like turning around on booze in Mario, and it's great.
Or like Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
And she like, and it's really funny because she always just goes like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, or she's like, "I hate these guys," and like she like all of her little exasperated like, and she's like, and like I love all of her little comments because she reacts to everything that's going on, and it feels very genuine.
That's fun because she's when she's playable in 4, it's really brief, and she just like solves a puzzle, like a slide puzzle, and then you're done. And that's like it.
You are having to solve puzzles while also navigate all these rooms, and there are all the knights, and you have to avoid them.
And it's a really nicely dramatic sequence too, because like on your way, like you're descending, and then you got to like come back up, right? And during the descent, all the knights are kind of coming at you like one at a time, and like you can flash them with a flashlight and get around, and it's like pretty manageable. But it does just such a good job of like unleashing them on you on your way back, up. So it's like a panic thing, like 2 different flavors of the same space, which is like. That's like the best video games can be.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah. Let's
fun.
Maybe even Ashley goes above Carlos then? No, come on. Or
I don't know. I mean, Carlos in that is like his relationship with Jill, I think is very cool. It is very like it feels like flirty in a way that feels but in a way that feels like also like respectful, like a Mulder and Scully type colleagues, but also
Well, and I will say that and we'll get to Ada and Leon in a little bit, but the games in a lot of ways are sexless, right?
Yes.
And I feel like there is an element.
Yes.
I do feel like there is a connection, like with Carlos and Jill that I find interesting. That I like. What do you think, Mark?
I agree with you that the games are pretty sexless, but I think that in some ways that restraint is incredible for the time in which like the original Resident Evil was made, and like Jill being a protagonist at the time,
right?
And for her to be like taken seriously, is, I think, pretty remarkable in hindsight.
Yeah.
I mean, her outfit in 3 is
The tube top?
crazy.
I didn't say it was perfect.
I think it's perfect. Okay. I think this is probably right. We go Sherry above Shiva, Ashley above Sherry, and Carlos above Ashley. Right? I think that's probably right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good
Great.
with that.
All right. Which now leads us to our the top tier. Right. These are
Yeah,
all
I
these
think
are all
so.
possibly in contention for numbers 1 through 3. So we've got Chris, Hunk, Jill, Leon, Ada, Claire, Rebecca, Barry. Rebecca's probably at the bottom of this.
Yeah, probably.
And then probably Barry just above that.
So, I mean, again, I think for me, I think Hunk is really cool.
Oh, yes.
And there is something fun about the mystery, and that they've never they have shown no desire to try to explain who he is, show his face, anything like that. We can assume that he's is Hunk an ironic name?
Sure,
and
you
he's
think he's
super
not good
disfigured or
looking?
something, or is he super hot in a series full of super hot people?
Yeah.
Well, and we also know that in some game modes, there's a lady Hunk that's playable. Is that the same character? We don't know.
But I think just compared to the personality of the other characters,
Sure.
there is something fun that it's left to the imagination. But also, for me, it only goes so far.
Yeah, okay. I'll agree with that. We'll go Hunk at the bottom of this then. So Rebecca above Hunk. Yes?
Fine with me.
Yeah.
And then Barry, right? Probably next. Because
Barry doesn't become playable until Revelations.
right.
Technically in Gaiden, but not.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
In the Game Boy Color game, but yes, you're right, and absent largely from the series between those
Right.
two bookends, right?
Yeah, totally. But he also says you're almost a Jill sandwich. So
And he gets a real glow up in Revelations. No offense to your father, but
I wasn't going to take offense to that until you specified. So we're putting him above Rebecca Chambers, which means then our top 5 in some order is Chris, Jill, Leon, Claire, and Ada. Sort of a boring top 5, but correct, right?
An expected top.
An expected, yes.
Yes.
It's hard to, you can't swerve out of this, right? These are the
I
top
don't think
5.
So yeah, I mean, these are our folks.
Let's talk. Who haven't we really talked about yet?
Ada.
Okay, let's talk Ada.
Here's an area for me where Hunk being a mystery is a detriment to his ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Ada as a mystery, I think, is so interesting. Where they're where it's who is she working for? What are her real motives?
Yes.
And I love that they have found ways to keep incorporating her into the story, especially with Leon, but not really trying to explain her backstory or what her motivations are. And I think the fact that they're able to continually play that note and continue to make it engaging is a credit to that character.
Yeah, I also just like the sort of implied, well, and then expressed in the Separate Ways DLC, story that she in that game, Leon is on his adventure trying to rescue the president's daughter, and then it just becomes a survival thing. And Ada is there and has to survive as well, but she doesn't seem to be stressed out by it at all.
No, she's one cool customer.
She's just dancing through it. And she's got that grappling hook, which is so cool and so fun.
That I was gonna say is it's such a joy for them to turn you loose as her and make you play through the same areas, but then go just go over.
Just go over
Just
it.
go
Yes.
over all the parts that you did, and the grappling hook becomes so fun, and it's really fun as a weapon, and it's really fun and it is fun to explore as her. I also like in 2 her moments of vulnerability where she's hurt, and so you know you then see her becoming her she's a little dependent for a short period of time, and how long that lasts, but at the same time she can't fully give over to her
Yes.
coldest urges. And I think, I mean, she's a very interesting femme fatale with a heart.
Yes.
Yeah, but not with a heart of gold. Just with a
No,
heart.
just a heart.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like she maintains an edge in a way that like the rest of the characters that we've got in the top 5 here are like goody goody, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a little edge to Leon too, but
Chris is a mess. Chris is so messy. But
Yes.
we'll talk about
Yeah,
Chris.
because even in 6, she and Leon are going at. I'm pretty sure she kills one of our big protagonists, but then he comes back, so maybe he wasn't dead. I don't know. Yeah, because I think she kills Chris at one point. and then Leah,
Yeah.
but then it's like, because he was in, but then he's in 7, right? So
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Um,
mean the characters all die and come
yeah.
back. I mean,
but
it's just-
seven's a pre. 7 takes place way earlier.
No,
right?
no.
Oh.
7 takes place like after 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
but yeah, all of which is to say that like Ada quite cool.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. And like all these things, she's like that femme fatale character, which somehow fits into this universe really well and is so unique.
Yeah.
We don't have another
Yeah,
character
that's not a
like that.
Yeah.
And she's working for Wesker.
Or exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing where it's like what are her motivations? Who is she working for?
Or
Really?
herself, or
Yes.
her, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in 4, she's like working for Wesker until
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
doesn't want to anymore.
Right. And we talked about like in a sexless series, she is a very sexy character.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Yeah.
Totally.
And she there is an implied romantic chemistry between her and Leon.
Yeah,
Right.
for
Yes.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Chris a little bit now? Because I mean, and that does not really help me narrow down where we put Ada. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Chris now, because you said he's a mess.
I think he is. He's
Yeah.
so stupid.
The one thing I'll say about Ada,
Oh, yeah.
and to
Yes.
put her aside, is she's the only one that does not get like a full, like for the main couple
Yes.
of games, she's not like a full campaign.
Right.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
no game that
Yeah.
is
In
Ada's
6,
game.
she does get a campaign, but 6 has so many campaigns
don't-
that it's
Yeah.
No, it's true. And I do think like as cool as she is, that probably will knock her down
Yeah.
in like the ranking a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Chris is like real dumb. But the reason I say he's like all over the place, to me, Chris is the most like emotion driven of these like top 5, like of the protagonists, right?
In a very male way.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And so like in 6, he's like, so in 5, he's like trying to track down Jill, right? Jill has gone missing, all that kind of stuff.
Punch a boulder.
Punch a boulder. Like he's like machismo is kind of like his thing, right?
Right.
And then in 6, he's like super depressed,
Yes.
like down in the dumps. I haven't played 7 or 8, but in like 7 and 8, he's just like kind of unhinged.
Yeah, he
at
wants
this
to
point.
kill you, right? Is in
and
7 in the DLC? Is it? Am I right?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you guys.
I
I
don't
believe
know
that
7 at
Chris
all.
is a antagonist for you at some point.
well, definitely an 8 because
Oh,
that
okay.
game opens with him shooting your wife
Oh, okay.
and stealing your baby.
So maybe that's it.
Great.
Yeah.
And so
Seems
it's
like a good guy.
yeah. And so
But okay, so and all of that is a good, solid, hard case against Chris.
Right.
But it seems like he's been just driven insane by like his lifelong quest against Umbrella, right? Like he has this experience in the first game of like, you know, the same thing that like Jill and Barry and Rebecca go through, surviving the like original Raccoon City incident. And then he's sort of the first guy that's like, I'm going to go on the offensive and like hunt down Umbrella stuff in Europe, which is where Code Veronica picks up that he's been hunting them and Claire is looking for him because he's gone missing.
is it at the end of Code Veronica that they're like in a jet together and she's like,
Yes.
she's like, like reunited and everything, and he's like, sorry,
we
I've,
gotta
like-
go. We gotta fight these guys.
Yeah.
At what point do you say, "Not my circus, not my monkey"?
I
Anyway,
mean,
yeah.
yeah. But also like he can't walk away from it now.
Sure.
Right?
I mean, yeah, after
Yeah.
a couple. After
Right.
one, I would just be like, I tried.
Yeah, I did what I could.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make
Oh,
sure.
it got out of the house? Okay. Well. Sorry.
Sometimes that's all you can ask for. But yeah, I guess that like we're kind of witnessing a like slow descent of a character like driven mad by their quest,
Yeah.
right? And like Leon gets more grizzled as he goes. Claire gets a little bit more grizzled as he goes or as she goes. Jill like gets superpowers for a little bit. But like I think the road has been least kind to Chris.
Well, but it's interesting because like I think Chris and Jill are interesting parallels, and it's interesting that they're in the first game. They have that same sort of like starting point.
Yes.
But where they are in their character journeys right now is very different. Like terrible things have happened to Jill as well, but she's driven by the mission, and it hasn't ruined her in the same way that like being driven by the mission has seemingly like gotten to Chris.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, and like aren't part of Jill's power because she has like special powers, right?
Yeah, in 5 has been infected by one of the viruses or something by Chris,
Right.
but I think is Jill presumed dead? Do we know what Jill's deal is?
Oh, I don't know.
now?
But I mean, who cares? If she's if she's presumed dead, that doesn't mean she's dead. She could always come back, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's interesting that like the like big bad thing of the Resident Evil universe beats down Chris where it like empowers Jill.
Right. Yeah, totally.
But I don't know how I feel about what that does to the ranking.
I also feel like Chris is in some ways the like canonical main character of the Resident Evil series as a whole.
Sure. Because
Like-
I mean, he the most appearances probably, right, as like a main character.
Interesting.
1 Code Veronica, 5.
Like
6,
if I was like forced to say on threat of being infected with one of the viruses,
Mhm.
like
But not one that would give you powers.
no. One of the bad ones.
One of the bad ones.
Probably turn into a lizard man or something. Like I think Chris would be like the point of view character for Resident Evil.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that, especially with his inclusion in Requiem, that Leon
Is
like
angling
in
for that as well.
contention for that.
I would argue the main character is Alice.
Okay, now
We did not add Alice to
include
the
Alice
list.
from the movie.
The movies.
She's in like all of them, right?
Every single one.
I mean, this is a great point. Does Alice go on this list?
Not until she's playable, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not until she's playable.
Married to the director. Of
That's
all
right.
the movies.
Yep.
All right, Mila Djokovic,
Yeah.
you are not.
Sorry, you
included in our
didn't make the
ranking.
list. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I weirdly he has barely appeared in the games I've played in
That's
this
so funny,
series.
Charlie.
Yeah, that is really funny.
If you were to ask me, it's Leon. But yeah, I think Chris is a good argument for main character of the series.
Not that I don't think he should be number 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And I it didn't sound like that's what you were arguing.
Yeah.
I almost kind of want him to be the bottom of our 5. Like I may put Ada above him.
That's interesting.
Just because she's so rad and sexy. Is that wrong?
No, but she feels so tangential in a lot of ways, which is why
That is true.
That feels crazy to me. But I'm open to it. Charlie, your thoughts?
I mean, I've been leaning more towards Jill towards the top of the list, just because of the fact that she also has several appearances in the series, and the fact that she grows stronger throughout the series and
Right.
more determined as things progress worse for society.
She's also the first of these characters to get like her own solo game.
Yeah.
Right? Like Resident Evil 3 is the Jill show. Yeah, Carlos shows up and we like Carlos, but like it's her game. And like, do any of the rest of them do that? Any of the rest of the games? All the rest of them are like based in pairs.
I would say Leon in 4.
Four
Leon,
is-
probably,
four is
you're right, you're right.
that's all him.
I mean, 7's Ethan's game.
Well, that's
Yeah, no, you're right.
You're right.
We
You're
are
right.
discounting
Ethan's
that.
game.
8 is Ethan's game as well. Yeah.
but Ethan, we bumped him way
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
He's way
sorry,
down there.
Ethan.
Okay, let's talk about Claire, because I feel like that's the other one we haven't
Okay.
really talked that much about, like character wise.
Right. Claire usually cast in a role of looking for her brother. That's where she is in 2. That's where she is in Code Veronica. And then in the Revelations games, that she is more of like she's working for the organization that is like trying to stop bioterrorism stuff from taking over the world. So like it's another one where like she becomes a Fed, just like Ashley, right? I like Claire. She rides a cool motorcycle and has a great jacket.
Yeah, she does have a great jacket.
Great jacket. I read a lot of apocalyptic fiction. It's like my
Yes.
favorite genre. And the type of character that I usually gravitate towards the least is one that is kind of relentlessly upbeat and positive, and also is just like, where's my brother? Where's my brother? Where's my brother? Where's my brother? It's like the world's falling apart, and it's
Right.
like I just assume he's dead, and then and then if you'd be pleasantly surprised if he shows. I mean, come on. I mean, the world has fallen apart.
Right.
Just like be pleasantly surprised if you run into the guy, but like
Right.
let's not just like go around constantly asking, have you seen? Have you seen? Have you seen?
Well,
You know?
here's the thing though with that is that we've just detailed Chris's descent into like
Right.
absolute lunacy. That doesn't come out of nowhere, right? He must have been like this as a kid. She must
Right.
know that these are his patterns, and that's why she's like,
Yeah.
I gotta,
Yeah.
I gotta find this guy. Or
Yeah.
who knows who
Yeah.
he's gonna shoot someone's wife and kidnap their baby.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's such a funny perspective on Claire, because one of the things I like about Claire is I think that of the protagonists that we have, or maybe across the series, not even just the ones in the top, she's the most like empathetic, like the most like
Yeah.
big-hearted, right?
Yeah.
She is the one that's always paired with like a Sherry or a Moira or something like that.
Yes.
Where it's like I guess I said it earlier, like that big sister energy.
Right.
I think she has.
While also having little
the little
sister
sister energy
to Chris.
Yeah, she's just a great sister.
That's interesting because I do think that she does have. She's the most nurturing, I would say.
Yes, that's
but
a
I
good-
find Leon to be very empathetic as well because he's
Yeah.
so driven by his role as like not only like when he has to go in and rescue Ashley and stuff, but he very much does care about her well-being as well
great
as
point.
he's not just like in most of those movies when it's like I gotta go rescue this idiot like
Yeah.
and then it's like come on don't get in my way or whatever. He does like fully care about getting her to that destination safely and like developing some sort of rapport with her. And I think you can have a character that has some stoicism to them with
Right.
and also have them be empathetic. And I think, I think her, maybe she is looking for a brother to avoid him becoming like a guy who stands on the roof with a sniper rifle and just
Right,
shoots
right.
random people.
See, I think Chris needs to be our 5.
We're scared of Chris. Partly.
We're scared of Chris.
Yeah.
I don't think we can welcome him into the top 3.
But
or
I
the
think
top
I think
Yeah.
that's a really good point. I think you're totally right. I think Leon does maybe incorporate the best elements of a lot of these characters.
Yeah, because even his relationship with Marvin in
In
two,
two, yeah.
I think that's a really good, that's a really nice relationship in which he continually comes back to check on the guy, and it's like they're strangers,
Yeah.
and it's like one person. This world is falling apart. There are zombies everywhere, but because this guy who's been bit is still around, he comes back and forth, and he feels really bad when he has to ultimately shoot him. And I think that you can storytelling in that sense is it's like a lot easier to tell it with like this is a little girl. Take
Totally.
care of this
Yeah,
little
totally.
girl.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Well, then it's just clearer, right?
Yes.
It's the like the lone wolf
Yeah.
and cub, like which makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense stapled onto Claire and Ashley or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's immediately readable.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's has more value.
Yeah.
Which I think you're right.
Yeah.
The sort of subtlety at play with Leon in those scenarios is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's kind of what I want to pitch. I want to put Chris at number 5, Ada number 4, Claire number 3.
Okay, cool.
And then we duke it out for Jill v. Leon at number 1 and 2.
That feels good to me.
Okay, so Chris, number 5, Ada, number 4, Claire, number 2. Now,
Number 3.
Oh, yeah, sorry, number 3. Which then, I mean, I did start this by saying that I don't know that Leon is my number 1, but maybe he is.
Charlie, I was gunning for Jill as my number 1, and then you just talking about Leon there, I was like, oh, geez. I think Leon is the best Resident Evil character.
And I think that's why he's back in 9.
Right.
Yeah, I think they like were very much they know.
Yeah.
That it's like, if it had been Jill, people would have been like, oh, okay, interesting. But I think as soon as people were like, Leon's back, like, oh, like, yeah, like, and because the last great like earth-shattering Resident Evil game is 4.
And to your point and what you were like talking about with Leon, like, what a good choice to pair with a new character.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Exactly.
Man, I'm so interested to see how, like, that Grace is her name, right?
Yeah.
Like Grace Ashcroft. How their like gameplay styles and like if their stories like intersect or like.
Right.
I'm very eager to see how all of that plays out and how they continue to develop Leon in Requiem, especially because like we're reaching like grizzled old man Leon now, right? Like, it's a new gear for the character to engage.
But I feel like another way in which he's kind of like the perfect balance of all these characters is that he is like becoming more grizzled, but not in like a Chris way. Like he hasn't lost a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he's still like, he can still be funny and like all that kind of stuff. Like, I do think he's more experienced maybe, but I don't know. I don't read Leon as grizzled.
Even the difference between like 2 and 4, there is like a noticeable change between him.
From rookie cop to like
to someone who's seen some stuff, and also the cop in him is no longer with us.
Of course.
But
the cop inside him died that day.
But you still get, where's everyone going? Bingo. And you get lots of other little jokes like that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to get some of that because at the end of the day, he is a movie protagonist. Like that's what they are. And I've realized that when they are like making these games, they are making movies. Like Resident Evil 2 was their attempt to take a zombie movie and translate the scariness of a zombie movie to a video game, and how do we make people as scared?
Yes.
And it's like, how do we make them afraid that they don't have enough resources? How do we make them try to get through a door, solve a puzzle while the zombie's coming to them? How do we do all that stuff and translate that with all the tropes of that stuff? And then they finally decided to do that with action as well, while keeping some of the series staples.
Right. Well, and like Leon starting that, like his
Yeah.
sort of like movie protagonist journey as a rookie cop,
Yes.
is like so like foundational and readable and like understandable, and then to see it sort of like morph into what it is in
Yes.
4 and then going forward is interesting. Like, is a fundamentally interesting journey for that character to be on.
Also, I haven't thought about it, but with Leon being in 9, that means we probably will see Ada, right? In DLC or
Hey,
like
man.
in some or like
Hey,
in the
here we
campaign
go.
That'd be
itself.
incredible.
Like,
I love that.
because has there ever been a Leon game where Ada has not played a role?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. No.
So yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And just another thing to look forward to.
All right, scoop.
Hopefully.
You heard it here.
Okay, so how many characters do we have here?
I don't know.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh,
7,
well, you
8,
have
9,
the-
10, 11, 12,
the
13.
list.
Yeah,
We
but I
added
didn't,
a bunch to
I didn't
it.
update it.
Oh.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20
Oh,
characters.
perfect.
Okay, great.
Top 20.
So just glancing here at what we have, we will read from 20 to number 1, and we can make changes still as we go in that.
Uh-huh.
But just glancing at what we have, does anything feel like imminently wrong?
I will say, just because it sounds like none of us have played the game. I think we're maybe undervaluing Ethan a little bit, but other than that, I feel good about it.
Yeah, but I mean, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Right? Like,
just acknowledging it.
okay, great. Charlie, thoughts?
No.
Okay. So number 20, we have Helena Harper.
Number 19, Jake Mahler.
Number 18, Piers Nivens.
Number 17, Moira Burton.
Sorry, what did you just say? You said 17. 16, we've got Natalia Corda.
15, Ethan Winters.
14, Steve Burnside.
13, Billy Cohen.
12, Shiva Alamar.
11, Sherry Birkin.
Now we're in our top 10. Number 10 is Ashley Graham.
Number 9 is Carlos Oliveira.
Number 8 is Hunk.
Number 8, Rebecca Chambers.
I think we both said 8. So this would be 7. Rebecca Chambers.
Sure, yeah.
6, Barry Burton.
5, Chris Redfield.
4, Ada Wong.
3, Claire Redfield.
2, Jill Valentine.
And number 1, Leon S. Kennedy.
That tracks to me.
I think definitive.
Yeah.
And I think...
Still friends?
Still friends?
Yeah, still
I
friends.
think we did it.
All right, great. Let's close it out. Charlie, thank you so much for helping us with this.
so much. This was so much fun.
This would have been impossible, I think,
Yeah.
without
Thank you so
another
much for
perspective.
having me. It was really fun. I loved talking about the Resident Evil games that I have played and many of them that I haven't.
Here's the thing. There's just so many of them.
Yeah,
Right?
they really are.
We can only know so much.
Yeah.
I didn't even include like 3 or 4 of these characters because I was just not thinking of them.
Yeah, I mean, like you
Or
said.
just didn't know them at all.
Yeah.
Charlie, what would you like to plug?
Yeah, you can check out my podcast, Baywatch Watch, where Zach Olson and I are covering every episode of Baywatch ever released. Patrick has appeared on the podcast before. We are currently on season 8, episode 12. So there's about 210 episodes of the podcast out right now. And we've still got quite a ways to go. So check those
follow
out.
all the tangents of it.
We've
too,
already
right?
done, we've done Baywatch,
Baywatch
Nights,
Nights.
and then we are doing Baywatch Hawaii, which has 3 seasons. So once we get through season 9 of Baywatch, then we move on to Baywatch Hawaii. And and then after that, maybe the Fox show will be out, the reboot. So we'll probably cover that
Yeah,
as
just
well.
keep going.
So yeah.
What is there like any like takeaway that you have from like what your relationship was like to Baywatch before doing like a close watch of it and now?
Yeah, I think for most of us, because I hadn't watched a ton of it. I mean, I was like osmosis aware of it when I was young. I think parents were afraid of it, and a lot of people called it like boob watch and stuff like that. It is like an incredibly wholesome show in comparison. Like it's pretty cheesy, pretty hokey, and it is it's a ton of fun to talk about. I mean, it goes down smooth.
No, that was my experience, and that like the episode that we watched like had a real sense of like putting on a show.
Yeah.
Right? Like it in a lot of ways it feels like you're watching the Muppets saving the theater with every episode. They're just like, here's what we have. We have access to like boogie boarders and like the beach, and like here we go. We're gonna make an episode about it.
Yeah, and it's like a who's who of who was big in the 90s. I mean, David Hasselhoff, Pamela Anderson, Yasmin Bleeth. We're now currently Carmen Electra is in the cast.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean,
So yeah, check out
Check it
Baywatch
out.
Watch.
Yeah.
And Charlie, thanks again
Yes,
for
thank
helping
you.
us with this. Thank you also to our 16-bit patrons, Connor McCabe, Patrice Millette, Kyle Seaborn, and Drew Mackey. We appreciate you and everyone who is interacting with us at all on the Patreon or Discord or anywhere listening to the show. If you are not in the Discord, you should email us. We'll send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying thank you for listening.